right, this is SFBarkast. I am Jeff Cleary.
I'm Andrew Louder.
And Andrew, where are we today?
We are at SilverClouds.
Clouds, plural.
I know. Yeah, it's almost like a late night love songs radio show.
Yeah, I wonder
SilverClouds.
what that is in reference to. Silver clouds. It's definitely not like the little puppy clouds, like
Right.
in the orb.
Is it like silver lining of a cloud? Like this is the most optimistic place in San Francisco?
Wow.
Where is this, by the way? Where are we?
We're in the marina.
Duh.
So
No wonder.
we got ourselves out of wherever we were. Well, I guess we were in North Beach last week. We got
The
ourselves,
other side of town.
We're not in our wheelhouse, so
We
we're
crossed literally crossed the tracks.
what tracks?
I guess I don't know, N Judah.
No tracks. But yes, this is in the marina. We're on Lombard and Webster.
True.
And this bar is a karaoke bar.
It is. We probably should have said that right at the go. We should have come out of the gate screaming "Yay karaoke!"
Right, and it is one of this destination karaoke bar.
I mean,
if
those
you're
two words have never gone together ever.
If you're one of those people, no, there's a whole cult. You know this. There's a whole cult of people who they don't do drugs, they don't drink, they do karaoke.
You're thinking of Scientology.
It's an addiction. And those people,
You're thinking
they need help. They don't.
You're thinking of the Susan Komen Foundation.
Yes, let's have a marathon for the karaoke people addicted to karaoke.
Exactly.
So we're in the marina, which is very far away from both of our wheelhouses.
Well, we've been called here by our guest today. And hopefully he'll show up and justify us coming here and explain to us why we're here.
He's got a lot of explaining to do.
He is like Lucy Ricardo.
Have you ever done karaoke?
Recreationally, but I've never been arrested for it.
Personally, I like to go to karaoke bar. I don't like to sing, but I like to go to karaoke bars when it's really packed and tell people I'm a talent scout.
Hand out fake business cards that are in crayon,
and then just ruin people.
Just
be that was awful.
I'm an RA for Capitol Records. They're like, what's that? I don't know.
One time, a long time ago, I did sing karaoke in this bar, and I was with some people I worked with. That awkward time where people, it's a new job, people seem to take a shine to you, so they're like, yeah, they invite you to some of the things that they like to do, and then you realize I don't want to do this.
But it's an important, you don't want them to never invite you ever again. So, you sort of have to bite the bullet sometimes.
I mean, I didn't feel any obligation. It's not like I'm a Japanese businessman and I have to go to, strip clubs in order to, move up into the company.
Yeah, you have to go strip clubs for your own reasons.
Exactly. I have my own reasons for that. So I got invited here, and, everybody was singing karaoke, and, so then I went up, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to knock this down. So I went up.
Marina's not going to know what hit it.
No joke. So I came here and I sang "Thank God I'm a Country Boy" by John Denver.
Right.
And
do you think would go over at least better than NWA or something?
And absolutely nobody was feeling it.
Ah.
Not even on an ironic level.
Right.
And then when I got back to even the people who invited me there were kind of like, what is this? I got back to the table, and this guy that I worked with said, wow, it seemed like you know that song pretty well. I'm like, wait, you never heard that song? He's like, no.
What?
I was like, oh my God.
Did they just assume that you picked the most obscure song that nobody'd ever heard of and
nobody
somehow belted it out of the park? How did you know how it was going to sound?
Nobody at my table, a bunch of Gap workers, knew "Thank God I'm a Country Boy."
You play George Michael's Freedom 96 or whatever that, and they'd fucking go nuts.
If you want to go and sing Blink 182, I'm sure the whole place will get burned down.
Well, when I first received the Barkast signal and with the attaché case that told me where to go and looked up this place.
That red phone was blinking in your house?
Yeah, exactly, for some reason. And my first thought, because I've been to karaoke places before, and usually it's one room where it's this is where the karaoke happens, right? And
This
so
is
I
where
was
the
thinking,
magic happens.
and so I was thinking, like, well, this is the worst idea I've ever heard in my life, to do the Barcast like in the middle of a karaoke lounge with people trying to sing. But luckily, the karaoke hasn't started yet. One, and this place seems to have like several different sort of parts to it.
Actually, I'm going to take the other side of that. I think it would be great to
You
go to a
think it's
karaoke.
terrible?
I think it would be great to go to a karaoke night
And just shout people down.
and just try to have our conversations. Maybe in the front row while someone's singing.
All right, grab their microphone every once in a while just to make a point.
You're like, keep it down. We all know living on a prayer. All right, nobody wants to hear that shit.
Well, anyone who's ever done karaoke knows that, like, the KJ, as they call it, the karaoke jockey, like a pretty, like, it's one of those like positions in society where like the people that are drawn to it are usually the worst people to have that power, because like and we'll get to like Yelp reviews and stuff like that later, but like you know, it's definitely one of those like sort of non-paying type jobs that people get really into.
You know what, though?
To the point where they're kind of dicks about it.
I'm willing to bet that if you were a KJ here,
Yeah.
or in some of the other, like, not some fucking dive bar where everybody's drunk and singing Tom Petty.
Well, this is Capital City.
But I know, like, the KJ over at the Mint, he makes a lot of money.
Wow.
I mean, and because he's in charge of all this, and like
Right.
people, once again, I know you're gonna laugh, but it is a karaoke destination. I actually had the KJ at the Mint yell at me once.
See, I mean, we'll save this for the inevitable trip to the Mint that we'll have to take at some point. But like, you know, I've been to the Mint before, and I'm guessing just by looking at the place that like the Mint seems more of like a sort of cool mission type place, and this, I mean, this sort of reflects the neighborhood we're in right now, which is assholes and cunts. But anyway.
I didn't hear what you said there. But,
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, so I had the KJ at the Mint, like, basically got a friend. He yelled at me, but he was really yelling at my friend because a friend
He's really yelling at society.
I had a friend who would go there, and he was very theatrical.
Okay.
And he was very festive.
Right.
And
Preferred the company of men.
Preferred the company of men. Well, whatever. It's the Mint.
Right.
So every time my friend would go there, he would sing a Madonna song, and then he would do something theatrical on stage.
Right.
You know, and so one time it was like we were in an El Nino year, and there was a bunch of like rain. It had been raining for like a week straight. So my friend went up there, sang some Madonna song about rain, and then took his water bottle and started pouring it all over his head as he's singing.
Right.
And the KJ like flipped out. He was just like, he's trying to tell him no, and like my buddy just like kept going with it. And then like they had some words when you got off stage, and then I was just like, oh, that was great, awesome. Like turned around, took a sip of beer, turned back around, and the KJ's in my face. He's like, yo, are you friends with Bruno? I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, you tell him we have electricity on stage, and you can't be pouring water all over the place, and I don't appreciate being called a cunt. I was like, well, if I can remember what you said, I will definitely relay that information to Bruno.
It's like, wait, let me get my notepad. Like, you said yes or no to cunt. No. Oh, okay. Definitely no. All right.
But what do you like? You've sang karaoke before. I mean, I know because I've seen you drunk.
Right. Exactly. Like, as people with terrible self-esteem or too much self-esteem and also too much alcohol.
I will say it is one of those things where, okay, we're here in the marina,
right?
And this place, while the songs that are going to be performed are probably totally different than other places in the city.
Right.
It's like karaoke knows no bounds. Like, there's one at Bellensoir right next to Doc's Clock. There's karaoke and like dirtbag bars.
It's, I mean, like, more so than most any other entertainment, though. Like, it really is dependent on the people that are doing it and the crowd and everything. Like, there is awful karaoke as sure as there is fun karaoke. But.
Like when you go to the Mint, and I know like we're at SilverClouds, and they keep talking about the Mint, right?
Well,
like really
in the Marina, and we'll probably talk about every other neighborhood that's better.
I just want to say that, like, you know, when you're at a place where people like take it seriously, there's two types of people who do karaoke. There's like the very drunk people,
right,
who are just like up there like slurring away, and like
and
all their friends are just
motherfuckers.
Like, you know. And then there's people who are actually really good, and I feel like it's the people who are really good that ruin it for all the drunk people.
Exactly. Like, nobody wants to hear you rehearse for your actual singing ability. Like, get lost.
I mean, like, I guess there's two like schools of thought where it's like, what are you doing, showing everyone up here and being good and being able to carry a tune
for what? Like a free pitcher or something? Like, screw you.
I can't go on and sing fucking Everclear after you've like brought the house down with like, you know, Dancing Queen.
I can't care about this.
What was the first? Oh, you know what? I know. I was going to ask you, what was the first karaoke song you ever sang?
Was it? It wasn't Dust in the Wind, was it?
It was. Well, mine was Dust in the Wind.
Okay. Well, maybe
unless you sang a song, because we did a duet of Dust in the Wind, which is
I'm trying to think
which is not a duet
if I
song.
soloed anything before that, because I think that like at least I think
the
that
shower
was
doesn't count.
Well, I think that was the same night that I attempted like Peg by Steely Dan or something that didn't work for my vocal range at all. Like it was not good.
What is the word?
I can't remember whether that was before or after the incredible job with Kansas that we did.
Yeah, I think we sang Kansas, Dust in the Wind, because we both like had this like epiphany moment where we both realized, you know what, I fucking hate that song. it's all this sort of like
quick. What's the worst song that you can possibly think of? And we were both like, Dust in the Wind.
But also, it's like one of these like 70s like stoner, profound like philosophy songs. Where it's like, hey babe, all we are is dust in the wind. Well, my mind is blown. So I think we really like ruined that song. What is the worst karaoke song? And I'll ask you. You can think about it if you want. Well, I'll ask our guest as well. But I have two right off the bat.
Like when you say worst,
karaoke,
do you mean like it's just a terrible song to begin with, or that no one can sing it well?
Well, I feel like nobody wants to hear this fucking song.
The Star Spangled Banner.
What's the ISIS like theme?
The ISIS theme song. Yes, I'm sure they have one.
Have they figured out
Hans
theme
Zimmer
song
wrote
yet?
it, if I'm not mistaken.
We should probably try to get in touch with ISIS and ask them if they want to like option our theme song for them.
Find out who their PR person is.
Okay, so here are my first two nominations for worst karaoke song. One, "Living on a Prayer."
Well, sure.
Yeah, because you hear it all the time.
Anything Bon Jovi, pretty much.
I mean, it kind of works, and you know, I know that I have a friend who said that, like, you know, if you're gonna do karaoke, you can't get too esoteric. You have to be kind of a crowd pleaser. So if you want to go up there and sing, you know, "I Love Rock and Roll" by Joan Jett, everybody's gonna get into it. But at this point in the game, "Living on the Prayer" is the dead horse that is already starting to decompose.
Well, and it's got the like chorus to that song, like that's something that I feel like I'm not a huge Bon Jovi fan, but only he can sing that. Everyone else sounds like they're just screaming like an idiot.
Well, in the same vein, like almost everybody loves U2, okay? But U2 songs are really hard to sing. Like if you're ever at a karaoke night and somebody goes up there and wants to sing "With or Without You," it's a really hard song to sing. Right. And then
and it's great because you get to watch them humiliate themselves in front of someone they're really trying to impress.
This song goes out to my mom, who I love. Well, it's like, you shouldn't have picked that song because like it seems like you hate your mom. And the other song that I feel like is karaoke poison, especially in San Francisco, is "Don't Stop Believin'." Oh my God.
Oh, I can't imagine. That has to be
although I will say,
it's been a while since I've been to a karaoke establishment, but
one time
got to be awful.
It's a goddamn abortion. One time I went to a karaoke night at the 500 Club and I was, you know what? I had this song stuck in my head, and I was like, I'm gonna sing Journey's "Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin'."
See, like that's a much better choice.
And so I was with this like guy that I was with my friend Wally, and he had a friend in from out of town, and like his friend just goes, "What do you? Oh, you put your name in? What are you gonna sing?" I was like, "Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin' by Journey," and he's like, "Oh shit, can you sing?" I was like, "No."
Oh shit.
He's like, "It's a
That's
really."
always a good response.
He's like, "That's a really hard song to sing," and I was like, "I don't know. I'm sorry. I just have to know what it feels like." Like I'm trying a drug for the first time, or the 80th time, and so then I went up there and just did my song, came back to the booth, and the guy who like gave me a little bit of warning, he said, "Look, I got to tell you, for the first chorus, I was like, oh my God, he's going to land this plane. He's really got this." And then he goes right into the fucking mountain. Like a whole song. You fucked it up. I was like, yep.
Well, isn't that like it goes on like forever too? It's like
Na, 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 na.
Yeah, Christ.
All right, you ready to take a break?
We have to, yes. And then we'll come back and we'll see if we can get some answers out of our guests.
Yes, our guest is here. And the limo came, picked him up on time, and dropped him off right up front.
I have my own Google bus.
All right. Goober X.
Goober X. All right, we'll be back from Silver Clouds. And we are back at Silver Clouds. Andrew, Silver Clouds.
Silver Clouds.
Give it up a
Silver
little.
Clouds.
Give it up a little. I have to like get the crowd up for this.
Yeah, Silver Clouds.
Are you ready for our guest, our very special guest?
I want answers. I want to know
Exactly.
I want to know who dragged my ass out of bed and to this bar.
We put on pants for this shit, and here he is to explain why he brought us all the way down to the marina. Amin Belbari.
Woo! Wait, so you put on pants, then you took them back off when you came to the bar?
In the
Because you're not wearing pants.
I never like that. It's just a little superstition of mine. It's an old podcaster superstition.
Okay.
It goes back to 2004.
I have an office in the bathroom. I like to keep my clothes dry and in there.
So Amin,
Hey.
how you doing? You and
I'm
I
doing
have
well.
we've been friends for a long time.
Yes.
We know each other from the comedy community
Yes,
in
we
San
do.
Francisco.
Yes.
I think that regular listeners of this podcast probably know you in person. I'm talking about AST people and friend of the show, Robert Zachary.
Is that who listens?
So wait, you guys,
No.
you two. I mean, I like comedy, and I feel like I am in the SF comedy community. But you guys,
Oh, I'm sorry. You were
but
serious.
you guys are fucking nerds about comedy, right? Because you have
I'm a comedy jock.
comedy job. Oh, right. So you stuff other comedy nerds in lockers.
Yes. That's how Andrew and I met.
So
I stuffed him in
exactly.
a locker.
And I know Andrew's like comedy, like AST, like handle,
Right.
and that was Scam Booga.
Correct. Same as
So,
my
I mean,
same as my Twitter account now.
what was
so I'm not
yours?
hiding from it.
Wow, embarrassing. Mine was Mean Bell Peppers.
Which
Bell
is
what?
Bell Peppers.
Is a play on his name.
I can see why both of you are
Bell
into
Peppers.
comedy.
Funny enough, I mean, not funny, but whatever.
Wordplay.
I only knew the first part was a play on my name because someone else came up with the name. And when he said I knew the whole thing was a play on my name, but I didn't know it was a play on green bell peppers because I'm stupid and my friend just came up with it. So that's the backstory on my name.
And then from there, it was just the legend just rolled on.
Well, the worst part is like there are still comedians that know me as that.
Oh, I know people think of Andrew as Scam Booga.
Yeah.
Right. And either they pronounce it wrong, which doesn't
There's
bother
no
me.
wrong way
How
to
do they
pronounce
how do they
that.
how do they
That's
mispronounce it?
gibberish.
I think like Skimbuga. Like
Skimbuga.
the like
Is
go
it from
way off on
something?
the beat. Yes, it's actually
I know. Yeah.
You
Boxer-
said yes so condescendingly, like you were gonna make a reference to like ancient Greece.
God, you don't remember that Greek god?
I guess
Scambuga?
someone didn't have to read Shakespeare in high school. This was Joe Frazier was on the old David
the
Letterman
late
show.
great Joe Frazier.
The late great Joe Frazier, and he had David Letterman say grace, or no, he said grace at Joe Frazier's table before eating, And one of the things he included in his grace was, and Lord, keep those damn scam bookers away.
And then like Letterman like leaned over to him because that was very beautiful, Joe.
I want to set the table just by stating that I am way younger than these guys. I do not understand any of their references.
You don't know who
He's
David
never heard
Letterman
of
is?
David
I
Letterman.
know who David Letterman is.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
All right, Smoking Joe Frazier probably
It
not.
sounds like a Simpsons character, like a boxer on The Simpsons.
He was on The Simpsons.
Fair enough.
He was. Remember, he was on the show when Homer lost his recliner.
That
And
is how I know who Joe Frazier is.
Joe
then.
Frazier said, "I know how you feel, Homer. I lost the championship belt of the boxing championship belt of the world." And Homer said, "Yeah, but there's like 3 of those." It's like this chair was one of a kind. So Amin, we're at SilverClouds because of you. Now what? Now explain yourself.
Right.
You
What does this
know,
bar mean to you? What is it that
Oh, gosh.
when you were put on the spot, and I'm sure you spent weeks thinking about it, but like when it came down to decision time, you said, "God damn it,
I think
SilverClouds is the place to go."
all my favorite bars were taken.
There's like
Kind
a
of?
million fucking bars in San Francisco.
You should have gone like the next step to like liquor stores, and then like come back to this place after about
All
the
my
top
favorite-
20 or 30 liquor
That's-
stores that hang out
after we're finished with like bars in San Francisco, we're gonna do liquor stores
Yeah.
in. Right.
Well,
and then bus stops.
And we'll do like weed dispensaries.
meth dens.
Eh.
Well,
We'll stop
2
with
other
that.
reasons. One, I grew up about a block from here
Okay.
in
Ooh.
the illustrious marina.
Wow, I
which-
did not know that.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm not
did
a real
you,
marina dude. For anyone who doesn't know, San Francisco marina.
When did they run
is-
you out of
You
town?
you don't seem like the marina type.
Well, the
like-
marina used to be like a family neighborhood full of like regular-ish people, and then the yuppies moved in and like removed everyone.
Do they remove them physically or just with their spin doctors music?
I got carried out by a yuppie. Like he was
No, you didn't.
holding up my underwear and just no. We left in like 1993 or something like that.
Okay.
So
and
wait, was this bar around then when you were a kid?
I think it might have been.
Huh.
I don't remember it. I wasn't going to bars when I was a kid.
Oh, well,
what's up
that
with
makes
that?
one of us.
Ooh, so you got those kind of parents.
Ooh, classy.
The other reason, and I'm kind of gonna whisper this in the microphone a little bit because I don't want to be rude to the people around us.
Speak up.
I heard this is the douchiest bar in San Francisco because it's full of yuppie idiots.
Did you say Ducius, like Steve's Ducey
Ducey?
from
Ducey,
Fox
yes.
News?
Well, okay. I actually have a little bit of research on this, and I don't know how long
Feel
ago
free to
this was.
whisper the rest of the episode. By the way.
Okay.
Okay, so the rest of the episode will be outside of the bar.
we just have to like consciously ask Amin only questions that sound like they're secrets.
Okay, so I know what you're saying. I know I hear what you're saying, even though you whispered it. But there was a
Is that your superpower?
that is my super. There was a online voting. What do you call it? Like a survey,
Poll.
and
Democracy.
on Eater, and they were trying to determine what the douchiest bar in San Francisco was.
Right.
And do you know what number 1 was?
Ruby Sky.
It really depends who you ask. I'd probably say, I think I might have seen that list. Maybe Zeitgeist.
No, Zeitgeist was like number 4 or number 5. The douchiest bar in San Francisco was Medjool.
Oh, this is how long ago?
This is
like
a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago,
Depends how you define douche.
El Techo de la Lolinda.
which
Was
we've
a great
done before.
bar. And that was like one of our earlier episodes.
And-
But that's on top of the old Medjool space, which is now.
I believe
Lolinda.
the Matrix, which is on Fillmore,
I think that was pretty high.
that was very
recall.
high up
I
there.
kind of just wanted a bar that
The bus
wasn't.
stop, maybe.
Bus stop
Ooh,
was up
bus
there.
stop. That was actually one of my other choices. I also just wanted a bar that like wasn't me at all and was kind of weird. And
You want to like throw people
I
off the
was-
scent? Like,
I was really hoping it would be way more full of.
I thought you
people.
chose it because you wanted to do karaoke.
Oh, I don't do karaoke.
You don't, as a rule.
I come and watch karaoke. I have to be really drunk to sing karaoke.
I have to be really drunk to watch it.
Okay.
Wait, have you sang it?
Yes, I have.
So you have been really drunk before.
Yes.
I will say
Mom,
that
I've been.
the
What did
music
you
that they're
sing?
playing right this very moment is like it's a Capital Cities cover of like Safe and Sound, which is like I didn't know that you had to sort of like pussy down that song, that it was too hard rocking the regular version. But anyway, I probably barely heard it.
You're in capital cities.
My first
song.
karaoke experience was after like.
This is like, by the way, this is kind of like talking about your first sexual experience.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, everyone seemed to have done karaoke before me, and I was the last holdout.
So I was fingering this girl.
Prison was terrible.
That's the other story. I'm sorry. It was after, I believe it was after a Sketchfest party. We went to the karaoke place in Japantown, like one of the Japantown malls. It's this really tiny place.
They have like those rooms, right?
No, this is a different place. It's just a single room, and it's like maybe can seat like 25 people. It was really tiny, and it was completely empty. It was just me and like a few other Sketchfest folk. Got a little bit drunk, and I sang. I think it was "House of the Rising Sun," was what I sang. And so
it's a very like grungy sort of like. I mean, like it's not your voice that I
it's a
picture
little
when that.
bellowy. I can kind of do it just like a bellowing song, or maybe even a crooning song, but not a singing song.
Right.
So I give the woman my song, give her $1. Again, place completely empty. About 10 minutes later, it's my turn. Get on stage. Right when I get on stage, probably about 75 people walk in the bar. Like a movie had come out or just let out, and it was full of people. And so
did they literally say like, "We're here to be entertained," and then sit down like with their arms crossed?
Yes. So it was awkward and weird, and that's a very long song, which is like one of the things about karaoke is like there are some songs you just don't realize are that long.
Loving, touching, and squeezing, for
yeah,
example.
Goes on
or have
forever.
like a long like guitar solo in the middle of it.
I think Dust in the Wind also like
Goes on forever.
the joke of that song was over in like 10 seconds, and then
Yeah, we're
it was
like, ha, ha,
7 minutes and 30 seconds after that. All right, sorry.
No, that
Go
was my
ahead.
first karaoke song.
Well, when I first asked you to be on the Barcast, I mean, you said maybe doing Encore, which is also
Yes.
another karaoke bar.
Yes.
And you said you were doing this after a Sketchfest show or something. Like, were you doing it with a bunch of comics?
Yes.
Because comedians, any like live mic on stage, they're like moths to the flame.
That is true.
Right? They crave like attention,
We used
and
to
so
go to-
comedians love karaoke.
Yeah, we used to go to Encore every week after the Sunday showcase at the Punchline. Like, so don't get me wrong, I don't like singing that much, but like,
I'll
There
do
was
it. You
a
do it if
couple-
you have to.
yeah. But even then, like, there's a couple years when we would go every single Sunday, and I would just hang out and drink, and it was fun. It was a real fun time.
Well, who is the worst comedian you've ever seen sing karaoke?
Oh boy, this is a great question. The worst at singing?
And don't be kind.
And does Dave Chappelle hold the record for the longest karaoke singing, or is
Song?
that still Dane Cook?
God, I don't know.
Who's the best comedian you've seen sing?
Who's a comedian?
Oh, you know what I'll say?
What?
Have you ever seen?
Greg Edwards is real fun because he just sings like. Greg Edwards, if you don't know him, is like a big football player looking dude, and he usually
Black guy.
sings. Didn't think that needed to be said. Again, I'm much younger than these guys, so I'm less racist than them.
It's okay, we grew up on a farm.
Yeah, he always sings "Girls Just Want to Have Fun."
Wait, Greg Edwards does?
He does, and he enjoys it. And women come up and like love it and like dance with him because it's just it's very, very fun.
Have you ever
He's
seen?
now a writer for John Oliver, is he? Greg Edwards?
No, that's
I'm
Kevin
thinking,
Avery.
Kevin Avery, you're right.
Have you ever
It's like, wow.
seen Chris? Yeah, speaking about racist. Have you ever seen Chris Garcia do "Creep" by Radiohead in
Yes,
Spanish?
I have.
That's his like
That is
go-to like karaoke
Oh,
song.
Jesse Elias is amazing. Too.
Jesse
I mean,
Elias, who is a great like comic, and he's like this small kind of nerdy looking guy, he sings opera, like
Well, he does
like
that in his act.
perfect.
I mean, like, yeah, it's like, yeah.
But you wouldn't expect it at a karaoke place. Like,
True,
people,
yeah, yeah.
Like people are like pretty surprised by it. It's pretty awesome.
Like, I've got their songbook right here, and I don't see any opera, actually.
Well, and he doesn't sing. I don't know. Sometimes he sings opera, I guess. But
I mean, I guess, Anne Murray's pretty close to opera, but
Again,
So
you don't
wait,
know who that is?
did we get to what your song was that you first initially did?
House of the Rising Sun. What's the
All right,
first
House
one?
of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, fucking check in. will
Sorry,
you?
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention. All right, I'm back in the men's room.
Hey, there's change under here. Somebody drop something.
Crazy little thing called Love. I would do that sometimes because it's also just kind of like crooning is kind of easy to do when you can't actually sing.
Yeah.
I remember trying to do that one. God, what's the Prince song that starts with the long monologue? Dearly beloved.
Oh, that's
Let's Go Crazy. Yeah,
I remember doing that once, and
My
like
God, you are younger than us. Like that Prince
I just
song
forgot-
that was
I-
encoded
I'm
in all
just-
of our minds. If you grew up in the '80s,
You know,
I was
we
born
bought a red
the year
sports
they
car or
came
something.
out.
wow.
I was born in 1984. I don't get me wrong. I know Prince songs. I'm just really bad at titles, but I tried to do that song, and I just really wanted to do it for that intro. And I did the intro, went fine. But then that song is not easy to sing.
You know what?
He's like a very good singer.
The intro where he's speaking,
Yeah,
that's the easy part
I
of the
killed
song.
it. But I killed it. I
Brought
crushed
it.
it.
Brought it home.
Everyone believed in a thing called love.
Like, there's no reason, like, during the spoken word part that you shouldn't just make up something. Like, just, just start spouting like Lyndon LaRouche bullshit.
I went to Safeway. I bought some bananas and some oranges. All right.
It's like, look
Billy
out.
7. There's no reason why it could have come down.
And everyone's an inside job. And here's 7 reasons why.
Vaccinations
Molten
cause
steel.
autism.
Molten steel does not fall. Actually, what's his name? The comedian John Daly had great tweets this week where he was doing because what's her name? Rosie Perez is on The View now. And,
Jesus Christ.
and so one of his best ones was where he said like all of his tweets began and ended with Mookie, and he's like Mookie, all these drugs are making autism, Mookie.
Wait, is she an anti-vaxxer?
No, but the girl that she replaced, Jenny McCarthy.
Oh, Jenny
like,
McCarthy,
was, so, like,
who just got married to Donnie Wahlberg.
really?
Yeah.
Jesus H. I don't know why I said really. Like I really care.
Really?
Like, oh my God, that changes everything.
I should call him.
I gotta
I
call
should
my.
congratulate him.
I gotta call my accountant.
It's like one of the weird things. We're sitting in the window at SilverClouds, and Andrew, you brought this up. Like, you know, there's all these tour buses going by.
It's crazy. Well, this
and
is
on
like the
Lombard
corner
Street,
of Webster and Lombard, right?
but on Lombard Street, there's nothing to fucking see here. I guess
Oh,
there's.
it's like
They went
the
from
thoroughfare.
the windy part to the bridgey bridge.
Yeah, they're going to
There
the
we are.
bridge. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy. I mean, like if you walk 2 blocks up to Union, like it's all like it's really nice here and like really quiet, and then you come here and it's insanity, complete insanity.
Insanity.
Oh my God, that guy just ripped that guy's face off on that tour bus.
Holy shit! Let's take a
Complete
break.
insanity.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back from Silver Clouds.
Dearly beloved.
All right, and we are back talking about the Holocaust with Amin Belbari.
I think it happened. These
Case
guys
closed.
were saying it didn't.
What?
Done.
Wait.
Next subject.
I said unlikely. I didn't say it didn't.
So here we are at the Silver Cloud in the marina.
Indeed.
I had no idea.
Silver clouds.
Clouds. That's true. That's totally true. I used to work on Union Street. I didn't know you. I mean, you were from down here, or
Yeah.
like you grew up down here.
Yep.
But I used to. My college job was I was the assistant manager of a movie theater on Union Street at the
Oh.
Metro Theater
Wait, when was that?
in the midnight. When did
Within like 93 to 95 or something.
yeah? Well, when did
We
when
probably
did Pulp,
met back then,
when did
dude.
Pulp Fiction come out? Or did you come to one of my like late night parties at
Yep.
the movie theater? Really?
Yeah, dude, Coke.
No, I wasn't doing that.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
Dude, by the way,
I was 10 years old, and I
if
probably saw a
anyone-
movie theater there.
If anyone is trying to like pull one over at me and just goes, "Yeah, dude, Coke," suddenly
oh,
my
oh.
That's just how I convinced Jeff that I know what he's talking about. That the place that I'm talking about is a place he went to. Hey, did you go to that party like up
Hey,
in like
you ever
Montana?
you ever been to that like
Yeah, Coke.
small country Andorra in like Europe?
Dude, we did
No.
get there.
Yeah, dude, Coke. Oh.
Oh right.
Wolf Mother.
Shit.
So I was like the assistant manager of the Metro Theater, and then I was like riding my bike down here past the Metro, and oh my God, it is now an Equinox gym.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, like I walked by it,
Everything's
like,
a gym down here.
Like, and it's, I mean, like they kept the bones or the outside like facade or whatever. Like, so it says Metro Theater, but then like the marquee just reads like gym.
One of the weird things too is like, so when I was here, it was like an old Italian neighborhood, and there was a butcher right down the street, and I was like, this old dude. He looked like Alice's boyfriend on the Brady Bunch.
Sam the Butcher bringing Alice the meat.
There we go. See, I could hang with the oldies.
It's not because it's Beastie Boys references.
It closed when it closed like in the early 90s. Now there's like 3 butchers in this neighborhood because it's like butchers was a thing for not poor people but for everyone kind of. Then it like went away, and now just like all these rich yuppies want fucking organic meat and stuff. So
Right now it's like
full
ironic
circle.
butcher.
Yuppies aren't ironic. Those are the hipsters. As
They're
my
like,
grandpa-
oh, I'll give you that cut of the beef.
Rump roast. Sure, I bet you'd want that.
Can you butcher this tofu for me?
Yeah, it's really sad. That, like, but although the story about the Metro Theater is that it was one of the first theaters that United Artists ever signed a lease for, and supposedly they signed, I believe, 100-year lease on
Wow.
that building, but 100-year lease,
Yeah, it's crazy.
was I think they were paying something like $200
Like
a
2 gold
month
bits.
by the time like that lease was up, and like so whoever like owns the place was just like, oh my god, everything is like on the up and up, but as soon as this lease is over, we are kicking these motherfuckers out of here because we can get, I don't know, like
This lease is over. We're digging up Charlie Chaplin's grave
We get-
and like
yeah.
suing United Artists for like $20 million.
right, we can get 5,000 times what it's worth because it's this huge fucking theater.
Right.
So
Like,
yeah,
We'll show you. We'll put a gym in it.
and the signs for Equinox Gym are just the worst. It's just basically a bunch of like people like looking at you longingly, like, "Hey, would you like to have some sex?" and like, come on in, lift some weights then.
Right, I'm one of the Google billionaires.
I don't think you know how gyms work, Jeff.
I've been to gyms in San Francisco.
Fair enough.
I've been to some steam rooms.
I've been to gyms. I've been to Tony's. I've been to Bob's.
All right, so I'm glad we have Amin here because we're gonna give our NFL picks right now.
Ooh, I don't have mine ready yet.
Everything I know about football, I know from Tecmo's Super Bowl. So, if you want to talk about how Bo Jackson was the fastest player, I could definitely go.
He was. He
You push
definitely.
up in A to do a passing play. I can hang.
What about all these football players who are getting arrested and getting suspended for either smacking around their pregnant girlfriends or beating their 4-year-old kids?
Or both.
I'm
Did
against
they,
that.
did they have that in your little video game?
Oh yeah, there's
Pre-
a little.
press
Whenever you
up
got a
and-
touchdown, there's a little cinematic where I'm not going to continue this sentence. This is,
Actually,
I know respectable people that would be embarrassed by what I was about to
if
say.
you press up and down twice, you like hit your kid with a fucking
Jeff.
branch.
So do
Call
you,
it a switch.
you don't buy into Adrian Peterson's defense of that's why I'm such a great football player is because my dad beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it seems like a
that's
sound
like a weird
defense.
thing. So if Amin doesn't know,
It's not a defense. That's
well, a lot of
that's
people.
a reason, not an excuse.
A lot of people
Right,
are coming
totally,
to his defense saying that, like, oh, you know what? I had corporal punishment when I was a kid, and look at me, I turned out fine. Like now I run this used car
Did you?
lot.
That's
But
the thing is that he's going off of like evidence that he doesn't have. That like well, if my dad hadn't beat me up, I wouldn't I would be some like poor guy now instead of the rich guy I am now.
well, here's the thing. I feel like I'm not going to have kids, and Andrew, like I don't think your kids aren't in your future. Kids might be in
Jeez,
Amin's
that's a terrible
future.
thing to say.
I'm just saying you're shooting blanks, dude.
Shoot them all over the place.
But one of like the reactions to this story is a lot of people are saying, "Hey, don't tell me how to raise my kids." And I was like,
Right.
"Whoa, well, if you take a fucking branch of a tree and you beat your 4-year-old with it, I'm sorry, maybe I won't directly tell you what to do with your kids, but like I will judge you, and you don't have to worry about me telling you how to raise your kids because there are laws on the books that are supposed to stop you from doing that to your kids. I wish there weren't. I wish there weren't laws that says you can't beat the shit out of your 4-year-old with a branch, but there are.
Jeff Cleary thinks there shouldn't be laws about beating kids.
Because I wish
You should be allowed to beat your kids.
no, I wish everybody would be like, you know what, beating your kid with a branch is like something I probably wouldn't do. But because people do it.
What you're saying is you wish there didn't need to be laws.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Like you've heard that old joke where it's like the fact that there are some states where they have drafted legislation that you cannot have sex with animals.
So you wish
they
that-
didn't do that in a vacuum. Okay,
So you wish that
people having sex with animals.
you wish that there wasn't child abuse the same way some people wish that there weren't sneeze guards on salad bars.
if we could trust everybody to not sneeze into my kale, then then it would be a nicer place.
I think hitting your kid is just kind of admitting that you don't have the tools at your disposal to really deal with what they're doing.
Depends on what you hit them with, because maybe you have a lot of tools.
What if you're really drunk and you just got through?
Oh, no, that's fine.
What if you just got booed off a karaoke stage and you went back to your kid and he was mouthing off to you?
Let's say the fucking kicker blew the spread on your game, and they just signed him last week, and you knew it was a bad pickup.
Or how about this? We'll get a little serious here.
Okay.
Were you ever hit as a kid by your parents?
No.
Andrew?
I don't think so. No.
No.
I
Well,
may have been
free for
slightly
free.
spanked.
Do blowjobs count?
Andrew's an altar
You
boy.
guys are 14-year-old kids. My mom would pinch me sometimes when I was being a real brat at like Target, and I really
Wow, I
wanted
bet you
toy,
knocked off
and
that behavior after that pinch.
It made me stop doing what I was doing. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say that.
I really
falls
wanted
in
a
the-
new Spider-Man action figure, and she wouldn't let me. And like,
Right.
I was only 18. I didn't have that much money. No,
It's like when you're like at the supermarket and like they've done
man.
studies about how in the cereal aisle they're targeting children to throw tantrums, so like parents will buy them the stupid fucking cereal they want. And when I see that, I'm just like, oh my god, market research works.
like something I'll say is like, when I was a kid, I knew someone who wasn't allowed to watch TV. Another kid, and when I was a kid, I thought that was the saddest thing in the world. I thought he was just like a leper. Like, who? Like, what's wrong with your parents?
You're like, you're not allowed to watch Manimal.
Right? Don't know what that is.
You're telling me you know nothing about Knight Rider?
All I remember is Fox. You guys are old.
You
But
tell me you don't watch the Tracy Ullman show?
I do remember watching one episode when I was a kid and seeing The Simpsons on it. My parents let me. But other than that, nowadays, like, I totally get it.
Like not letting your kids watch TV.
TV's so fucked up. Like, advertising.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
It should literally. Like, I literally do think it should be illegal to advertise to children. Like, toy advertising, cereal advertising. None of that stuff is good for them usually. And it's like you're trying to convince a kid to spend money that's not theirs. And I would be perfectly happy if there were no advertising at all for kids. Like, I would be completely fine with that law.
It's a good point. Yeah, like because it is like sort of the most defenseless class of
Yeah.
victim of advertising.
It's
Is
the-
that like and like I
And
guess
it's the most insidious. Like, it's the most like gross. Like,
right.
adult
where-
advertising isn't that sleazy. Kid advertising
right.
is like, that's the ones where like they'll have a toy that's like flying through the stars, and it turns out it like doesn't even like do anything at all.
Right, or you have to like buy
That I feel like that's what your problem is that like the
No.
toy doesn't do anything at all.
No. I'm just saying it's all bad.
You're saying kids should
Not be advertised.
should not watch TV
and get
they-
working toys.
No.
and they should buy ice cream out of the back of a van.
I think they should only watch pornography on the internet. No, I just think I think kids shows should not have advertising. That's my firm belief.
That's why
Watch
my
Netflix or
in-van
something.
massage service doesn't advertise on TV.
Right, exactly. Don't Don't watch something that's advertised.
Ah, that's okay,
Watch,
man.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
fine for kids.
watch House
all my
of
money
Cards.
goes to the Communist Party, but I'm not going to advertise.
I want you to watch kids. No advertising, so let's just watch Orange is the New Black.
I'm not even.
Just Jim Jones footage.
I'm not even gonna let my kid go to school. I'm just gonna show him Wikipedia and he can just browse around, look at random articles like I do.
If you actually become a parent, like my hat goes off to you. I honestly feel like, if you were a parent when Andrew and I were growing up in the 70s, the 1870s, it was so much easier. But now, because now you have to watch everything they do. The internet has.
Yeah.
If you're a
When you say it
parent
was
and
easier,
you're
people
look,
just cared less.
No, seriously, if you were a parent and you had the internet in your house, you would actually have to before you go to bed be like, how do I prevent my kid from watching fisting? because it's right there on the internet.
Right. Or do I introduce my kid to fisting and
Here's the thing.
take the mystery out of it?
I'm just gonna give my kid a laptop and build him a beat-off shack and just go hey, do your thing elsewhere. We don't want to know about it, hear about it, smell it, anything.
A shack? Why does that have to be a shack?
It's gonna be in the
So
backyard.
demeaning. Make it nice.
It's just important. You should just tell your kid it's very important to have integrity and clean up after yourself.
Please. The garden hose is 5 steps away from your
I don't think you
goddamn
can
Taj
do
Mahal,
anything.
whatever you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, I remember I learned a lot about computers just because my dad tried to get me off, not let me use computers. He would unplug the keyboard and I was like, I'll plug it back in. He put a password on it. I learned to crack the password. It's
It's okay.
not much you could do.
We're just gonna cut you off right after you said I learned about computers when my dad tried to get me off.
I knew you were gonna do that.
So what you're saying, is that reverse psychology worked beautifully on
just
you.
show him all the porn that's on.
Did your
under the
dad
God's
show
blue
you a lot
sky.
of gay
No.
porn? And then you turned out straight?
You guys are teenage boys. I swear to God.
First words your child speaks should be their browser's password.
Wow. Also, there's a kid in this bar.
I know. Well, that's when I chose to
Our next
bring out
guest
the
just
browsers.
showed up.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's like a child singing act. Those child singing acts that everybody loves.
Just in Bieber.
All right, you ready to take a break?
Sure, why not?
All right, let's take another break.
Internet pornography.
Sure.
Jack off booth.
All right, we'll be
Shack. Excuse
all
me.
right.
Jack Shack.
Jack Shack.
Hey, you're 16 years old. Here's your Jack Shack.
You're
Actually,
calling
that's pretty
us
late. That's probably pretty late
14-year-olds?
for a Jack Shack.
You're doing
I'm
the
being
Jack Shack?
practical.
Like, what's the
That is you're making jokes. I am gonna build that
what's the age?
out of lumber.
What's the age when you give the kid the Jack Shack? And is it on his birthday or is it a
It'll
different
be
occasion?
based on their maturity. It's as soon as I see that the browser history is completely empty, meaning they've cleared it out because they don't want me to see what they're doing, then I'll be like, okay, shit's going down.
Time for the Jack Shack.
Here's the Jack Shack.
Didn't Ted Kaczynski live in a Jack Shack?
He did.
Okay, let's take a break.
His parents bought it for him. They were very forward thinking.
Can I just say that I need to apologize to this bar because I know earlier I said it was I was expecting to be really douchey, and it's actually really nice. And
I mean, it's early.
it's early, but
and
the bartenders are nice, and it's
yeah.
Yeah, everybody here that we've met is really nice. So
yeah,
Right.
I know.
I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself.
no, I am
We
ashamed.
walked into this place with this ironic hipster attitude.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was coming
We-
from.
we
This
came
place.
in here-
What? No, it's nice.
And we said right to the bartender, our friend says it sucks.
Make sure and give him really good service. He says
Oh.
you guys are douchebags.
Is that
No.
why there was a turd in my drink?
It's an artisanal turd.
I mean, did you know that they actually have live comedy showcases here as well?
Wait. Let's not go saying things we can't take back about what's comedy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I did not know that. It's not
So-
surprising. There's comedy everywhere.
So they have karaoke, and then they have comedy.
Or whatever
So
Anthony
comedy
Sandoval
7
is.
days a week.
So what do you think of this place?
What do I think of this
Yeah,
place?
I'm gonna turn the tables on you for once.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? Well, I will say there's this weird thing about this bar. that I feel like it's like this schizophrenic bar because in the back there's like this very classy, nice little like
I know,
restaurant.
yeah, it looks like a classy Shakey's Pizza or like something back there, like a
Classy Shakey's
old
Pizza?
spaghetti factory or something.
But it's like there's a lot. Clearly, there's a lot of like tourists
Right,
who are
right.
sitting out back eating, and they're a lot older than the people in the front. So
Yeah.
there's like this real sort of like age thing. It's like there's this real Logan's Run thing going on where the old people are in the back. Logan's Run was
Cool
a
young
movie
people
in the
are-
70s.
Singing
I
karaoke.
heard
in
of
the front.
that as the Simpsons reference.
You probably remember Logan's Run from your history classes.
The paper you wrote on Planet of the Apes and other assorted 70s science fiction.
That reminds me of a paper I did write in college.
Uh-oh.
And this is a very embarrassing thing about me. It was
It's called
junior
Why
high.
the Conservative Party Will Rule. Yeah.
Here's something about the racial holy war. No, I was about 18 as junior college, and we had to write a paper about like arguing on behalf of something. And I was not good at school, and I just like I came up with the idea. So Family Guy had just been canceled, and I was 18, so I liked Family Guy at the time, and I wrote a paper about why it was bad that Family Guy got canceled, and like how it shouldn't have been.
Was there a chapter about how you were surprised there were no riots?
Essays don't have chapters, but anyways, I ended it by saying this was because of old people that was happening, and that I thought old people should be harvested for their vital organs and eyes.
Right.
And my teacher
Mainly
was
eyes.
like a very kindly 70-year-old woman who I think
Totally
she just got a
agreed.
frowny face next to it and was like, I felt very bad and embarrassed, and I still do to this day, which is why I'm telling it to all of 150 people.
But you know that your idea was still valid, though. I mean, like,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
despite,
they don't contribute to society.
I know, like, well, first person you start with is this teacher that
Anyone
puts
over-
frowny faces next to things.
Anyone over 33 is just like,
You also,
dead.
in your essay, you probably shouldn't have tried to pin it on Israel.
It's all Hamas's fault.
Speaking of Hamas, no.
Do you know who the new host of the of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is?
Speaking of Hamas, yes. So great segue, dude. Who is the new host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? A show that I've been on.
It's not only
What?
it's the one and only President Camacho, Terry Crews.
You've been on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Don't bury the lead. Terry Crews.
Can we change the subject? I don't want to talk about this.
No problem. I give it up.
Actually,
So, Andrew, what's a TurboGrafx 16?
That's a video game system that came out right around the time that you were born.
hey, Who Cares magazine?
Or is there like a big-headed cave dude?
There was Bonk's Adventure.
Oh my god!
See, there we go. Like,
Lucky guess.
totally lucky guess.
Okay, Jeff, what was your...
What was the other guess
what's
you had? Like
your-
Shinobi or something? Or
I remember.
I personally was not on.
Oh.
I was.
Okay.
I wasn't a contestant on.
You got
but
a
I was.
call?
I was the guy who was his friend in the crowd.
well-wisher.
On.
Friend on the crowd? That's...
Yeah. Yeah. So
So they zoomed in on you and were like, "This is Jeff." He
not only that, but
do-do-do-do-do."
they said like, this is Jeff, his companion from San Francisco.
Wait, well, okay, so my roommate at the time, he got on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And so they were going to fly him and one friend out. And so like he's like, hey, like you actually I was his second choice. This one friend of ours, like, yes, he asked our friend Jim first. And
They're
then
like, stay by the bus station phone. I might need you after all.
So when you go out there, you know, like the whole format of it, there's like 9 or 10 people who are vying to get into like the hot seat or whatever.
Right.
And then so most of those people don't get in the hot seat. But when we went out there, like my friend Sean, my roommate Sean, like got on there. But before all that, the day of, they do interviews with everybody, like, you know, as the teams, like, you know, like, oh, so you're on the show and I'm his friend coming in, right? And like, so they have like some like attractive young girl like interviewing us. And they're like, she's like, oh, so you guys are, she actually asked us, so you guys are roommates in San Francisco, roommates. So anything else? And like, it actually took both of us like a second
You're
to
like,
be like,
I am offended.
what are you talking about? And
I mean,
then
we
we're like,
suck
oh,
each other's
shit.
dicks, but like,
Oh, no, wait. And Sean just like went, no, we're only roommates for economic purposes, not for
oh, so you're paying him.
not for late night, again, like gay sex purposes.
The
I mean,
host
that's a perk,
the host
but-
of the show is now, what's his name?
Terry Crews, who should have won an Oscar for his portrayal as President Camacho in Idiocracy.
I hate that movie.
Oh my God.
You know what? It's not a great movie, but Terry Crews is amazing in that movie.
I like him. I think he's good. He did recently actually have like a really good touching statement about like not beating your kids.
Not what?
Not beating your kids. Like he had a really good interview about it.
Hey, let's just agree to disagree.
But Idiocracy is just like, I like Mike Judge. I like King of the Hill a lot. Idiocracy is pretty much just like saying that stupid people like shouldn't be allowed to live. It's pretty much advocating for eugenics is how I feel about it.
Yes, that
Okay.
this like slapstick comedy is all about eugenics.
It's entirely about eugenics because eugenics is all about how stupid people breed too much and they shouldn't be allowed to do that, so we should stop it. That's what Idiocracy is about.
Or maybe what about they're saying like smart people aren't breeding enough?
Again, that's something that
That's
Hitler
not
would have
eugenics
said.
though.
I
It's
don't
sort of
think
a
that's-
form of it.
I don't think
Like,
that's
it's
a true
It's a weird,
thing.
like, negative form of it.
But that's not even true. It's not that smart people don't have enough kids. It's that people that have a higher socioeconomic status don't have as many kids. And higher socioeconomic
You know, white people.
socioeconomic status and like intelligence isn't the same. Also, like
I am offended.
no,
I'm
I
taking
really-
and I'm
taking myself back to Harvard where I
I am
belong.
serious here. Where it's like even like I think making fun of like really like people that are actually stupid is just like awful because it's like imagine how bad it would be to be stupid. Like just be really fucking dumb.
God,
Like, that
I
would
was
suck.
thinking it would be awesome. Because you wouldn't care about anything.
And that's my soapbox. Had to get on that. I'm sorry.
But I mean, like you're a big fan of comedy. If you can't
I
make
am.
fun of stupid people, like what's left?
But it's different levels of stupid.
Yeah.
It's like stupid action for like that, I guess
Right,
what the
right,
Daily
right.
Show makes fun of or Colbert Report makes fun of like politicians that are just assholes saying stupid things.
Right, willing
Versus
willing
someone,
stupidity.
making fun of someone who has like a mental disability and is just like has a low IQ. It's like that's shooting dumb fish in a barrel.
Or shooting
yeah.
Dax Shepard in a barrel in that case.
What? What?
He was in Idiocracy.
Oh god.
All right, so we have to like believe me. If anyone wants to hear the rest of that conversation about like making fun of stupid people, you can go online and see the entire interview.
Search Wikipedia for eugenics.
So what
And
about
have fun.
your? If I put a gun to both your heads, if I put an AK-47 to both your heads, and
Why did you just take out a gun, Jeff?
because is it off now?
Oh,
You turned
God.
the recorder
Oh,
off?
God.
Okay, good. I know. So what song would you sing at karaoke?
At karaoke? Gosh, I don't know.
At karaoke, not like drunk in the bus stop.
Right. Well, let me say first of all my least favorite ones. I'm gonna go that route.
Turn the
Is
table.
this with our current talent, by the way, or is it like if we could sing really well?
It has to be our current talent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
No, you,
fuck.
not like fantasy you.
So not like me as Donna Summer.
I feel like if I
What?
all right, I'll go best first, or at least yeah. I think that it's a song that I for some reason instantly sing along with whenever it's on the car radio and I'm by myself.
You want to take a guess at me?
And for some reason it fits my vocal range well, and like I think that I would do it very well.
Smash Mouth All Star.
Close. No. It's like Mark McGrath. Think no. But Elton John's. I guess that's why they call it the blues, because like it's a soaring song, but it's within my vocal range. And it'd be awful. I know it'd be
I
terrible.
guess that's why they
I'd
call
be
it
really
the
drunk.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they call them refunds.
Amin, do you have a song that you?
Can you go before me?
Yeah, I'll go
I'm
before
still
you.
thinking.
So I have. Hey, move it along. right, so I have a few that I've just like jarted down in the last few weeks
Right.
because I'm always thinking about like that if somebody puts a gun to my head and makes me sing karaoke.
You live a very terrified existence.
I can't get any sleep, Andrew.
He's like shaking every bus driver. Are you the one with the gun that's going to make me sing karaoke?
2 out of 3 ain't bad by Meatloaf because I love 70s soft rock.
Really? Can you do Meatloaf?
Hopefully
You
your
know
other
what?
Do you have the range for that?
So
hopefully
here's-
your other two guesses are good, and you'll have 2 out of 3 on this as well.
The thing about Meatloaf is like it's really like he's got a lot of range and he's got a really powerful
Yeah.
voice.
Right.
But 2 out of 3 ain't bad is his like down low kind of song, you know. Also, Tenderness by General Public.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
I think I've got kind of like a low voice. I could do that.
right, okay.
I really want to try to sing Urgent by Foreigner, which is
I know that one.
oh Jesus Christ. I mean,
What?
it is a great song about a late night booty call. Urgent.
There are better songs
Emergency.
about that by Korn.
Yeah, it's not a Gin Blossom song or a Goo Goo Dolls song.
Like, that is still your era. You still know more about. I don't know anything about 90s
That's
music.
the 90s. You know anything about 90s
I was
music?
10 years old in the 90s, and part of the
Good
90s. I was a freshman in high school in 1999. Limp Bizkit, Korn. That was the music I grew up hating.
Wow. So, like, Nirvana for you is like classic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not classic rock.
All right, and the last one I have is Paul Davis's 65 Love Affair.
That's maybe the worst choice I've ever heard in my life of anything.
It is going.
Wait.
It'll bring this house
Is that a song you
down.
want to do or don't want to do?
I would want to do it because no one will know it. So no one will know if I did a good job or not.
No one will appreciate your ironic take on an ironic take of 50s music done in the 80s.
No one
65.
knowing whether or not it was good. I have to take a real brief story about that. The very, very, very first time I did karaoke, I think. Scratch that other one. In Koreatown in LA, I chose a Korean song, not realizing I actually had to know how to sing the song or read Korean to
Was it
do
Gang-
it.
was it
didn't
Gangnam
work
Style?
well. No, it was not. My song, and it's one I've done before, and I'd probably do it now if I was drunk enough, and I wish I were better at it, would be Jealous Guy, but
By who?
the Roxy Music version.
Okay. I know Roxy Music. I don't know that song.
I know that song. That's a very, I mean, like,
It's a very croonery.
yeah, sung well. That would be very like, that'd be a good like powerful sort of.
Love is a
song.
Drug would be a good.
Love is a Drug would be a fun one too.
be a
There's a
good
great
Especially if you were on
music
drugs.
video of him doing that, where he's wearing a pink naval captain's outfit, has a single eye patch, and there's bubbles all around him, which you don't have rock stars like that anymore at all.
Hello, Captain Stooping.
That's true. I mean, Brian Ferry was as far as coked out like New York queens go. He
New York, he was British.
Oh, well,
It's
but,
like
yeah,
London
On the
or-
scene in New York,
Yeah.
yeah, like from London.
I saw him a couple months ago.
but
It was-
coked
it
out
was a great
queen
show.
part was good.
That,
You
yeah,
saw him
no,
like
that-
solo or
It was him solo.
Yeah.
It was a really great show. Fox Theater.
nice.
Yeah.
I like his early solo work, like in the early '90s, maybe late '80s.
That is not
Was
his,
it-
his early solo work was from the 70s.
Did you say was it
Well, no, I'm saying
before
like
or
the
after?
post Roxy music.
No, but
solo stuff.
okay, because he
Was
did
it-
early.
Was it mean born or not born yet?
I love his 70s solo stuff when he just did like kind of like weird standardy rock songs, like Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. It's like great album.
All right, stop stalling. I mean,
Oh,
what's
other
your
I don't know.
gun to your head?
Keep in mind, I only had to pick one, right? So like,
If
I
and
don't
I'm
have to pick several.
going to cheat a bit and say like if I could sing better, any replacement song. And you don't have to be that good of a singer to do it, but
Wow.
like it's
That's
like,
a good call.
Either it's like a really fast song or he does kind of sing. So if you can't sing,
Yeah, that's actually a good call. Any replacement song that like
androgynous, I'd love to do that drunkenly and just.
I
drunken stupid.
have a
What,
like
Shiny Happy People, like over and over again. I think that's my jam.
Yes.
I have a fantasy about going down to Martuni's where they have it's a piano bar and
yes.
singing Androgynous by the Replacements because
I love that song.
I love that song, and like if you're at
And
Martuni's,
that is what I think of too. Yeah, it's just like a drunken jazzy.
it's a drunken gay bar with a bunch of like cross dressers and stuff.
The
and
bar
it's
itself
like-
is drunken gay. Yes.
That's like one of the things I loved about the Replacements. Like here you read like stories about them, and that they said that like they were like in this hard rock scene, like post punk scene, but they just like never felt like they were. They always felt like they were like outsiders.
Yeah.
And they said like
all those SST bands. I mean, like Husker Du,
well, it's like
Meat Puppets. They're all. None of them were like fit in with that crowd. And they did such amazing music.
Yeah, and like I think like the Replacements were saying that like like they would love going to like gay bars and just like hanging out because like it for them it felt like they were in like
That's what
it was a bunch
did
of
in the 80s.
it was a bunch of misfits. Like they were like, oh, we don't fit in. Like we're with people. We feel like we had to come here because we didn't fit in anywhere else. So there you go, the Replacements bringing us all together before their time. I heard that
And now on a reunion tour.
Are they on an actual tour? I know they did
Yeah.
the East Coast.
Well, yeah, I saw like I don't know.
I would-
Instagram pictures from people in Minneapolis going to the show.
I would go anywhere on the
what's
West
his
Coast.
name? Parker Gibbs went to the show.
Yeah, Parker went to the show, and they're doing like a full tour. A
Are they
friend of
doing
mine.
West Coast?
What's that?
Are they doing West Coast?
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine who works for Treasure Island, she said that they were positive over at Treasure Island that they had the Replacements for this year, and then they
And
just
then
then they just like never got back to them.
Ah.
And they were
That
like, "What the
sucks.
fuck?" But that's so Replacements. They're just like, "Oh, sorry, dude, we were too drunk to get in touch with you. I know we were gonna get paid like fucking $50,000 for this goddamn show."
Yeah.
Fantastic. Uh-oh.
All right.
We have singing going on.
So, what's your? Let's go to our final analysis.
Sure.
Phil Joannou of this bar.
Indeed.
I learned today that yuppie scum are people too.
You did.
Wow. So, I
right,
mean,
The
what you're
people that
saying
drove me out of my neighborhood, that gentrified me.
we drove you.
They gentrified
People
me.
But I
drove you
think
out of
that-
your neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
and you drove us back into your neighborhood.
I drove us back in.
But I think that oddly enough, this is a poor example of like what's wrong with the marina, because I think just
Well-
walking here from like Union Street,
It's the less rich, it's the less like super rich yuppies and more just like the broy, fratty yuppies.
yeah. I can
Yeah,
only
but
imagine.
none of those people are here right now.
Right, but I mean,
They're-
as soon as the
I saw
karaoke
some
starts, I'm
people
sure they come out
walking
of
by.
the woodwork.
Yeah.
While we've been here, it's been nothing but nice people.
Right. Well, I maintain that I bet if you came back at 11, you'd have a different story.
Jeff, by yuppie scum, I meant you.
Oh.
Oh. I heard this place is really douchey because you're going to be there.
It's like, oh,
Douchiest bar in San Francisco is wherever you are.
the long con.
Burn. Yes. I win.
I waited until you got 88
Audible.com
episodes deep.
/Amin. Bonobos. Something healthy snacks, whatever the other ads.
Bonobos?
The podcast ads, there's like 3
Exactly.
podcast
All right,
ads.
we
for
should probably-
fucking podcasts.
We should
You
probably
guys have ads?
we should probably pause for
No.
our
TurboGrafx
our
16.
we should probably pause for our brand new sponsor, Coca-Cola.
Libertarian Party.
The racial holy war.
Today we're sponsored by eugenics.
Yeah.
Andrew, Phil Joannou, final analysis as a bar.
You know what? It's a bit weird because there is that sort of like back area that's like a classy old people restaurant, and like
Super
then you've
weird,
got like,
dude.
but then you've got sitting in front of it, you've got like a karaoke lounge that I haven't seen in operation yet. So it's been fine so far, but I wouldn't hold high hopes for it.
Wow. That dipped like real.
I know. Well, I mean, you sort of have to. You have to acknowledge that there will be karaoke here, and we're in the marina. They can't be good.
There will be
like,
ear blood. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, like, it can't. I wouldn't think that it would surprise me in a good way, where I would come back here at like 10 o'clock and be like, holy shit, this is where all the cool people are.
The way I know about this bar, by the way, is there are commercials in San Francisco where it's people singing, "Come to SilverClouds," and then it's all of them going, "Sweet Caroline, whoa, whoa, whoa," which is why I thought it'd be douchey, and because Neil Diamond's douchey.
That's a
I mean,
pretty.
you know what? Usually Sweet Caroline's a good tip-off. You know, like,
That's a pretty good bad karaoke song.
Yes.
yeah.
I would say.
Anything by the Carpenters, too, is a bad karaoke song, I think.
Carpenters are great.
But, bad at
Every Carpenter song
Superstar
is awesome.
is a terrible karaoke song.
By the way, worst karaoke song, which I didn't get to say earlier, is just any song where it's a white guy rapping.
Yeah. How many times do you think Macklemore has been sung here?
Ugh. Boy.
Well, I meant more like a white guy rapping on a song originally rapped by black gentlemen or black ladies.
Yeah, I would imagine this would be a terrible place to listen to somebody do the entire works of NWA.
Yes, especially like when it's like a guy like trying to show off his rap skills. You know, it's
Yeah, or like some guys like trying to show all of his like friends how like down with the movement he is.
Yes.
Right. I told you I could freestyle rap DOS effects. Who cares?
So my final analysis is actually like, yeah, I was like a mean. Like, I was like, you know what? This is going to be the worst place in the world, and I'm going to be totally despondent, and I'm going to hate everybody here. Exactly like Amin said. But
Which is great. I mean, like, you know, for us, it's kind of like that's kind of like walking into a place like puts a spring in your step. Like, God, this is going to be awful. It's going to be a fucking car wreck. Like,
I mean,
can't
there are
wait.
plenty of hipster bars that I sometimes go to that are way douchier. So.
Oh yeah. I could. Yeah.
if we're about nothing, we are about lowering the bar of your expectations.
See, I would if I were betting against this place to to raise the bet or whatever like that, I would say that the final down the street would be a douchier bar.
Well,
I've never been in that place
We'll take
and
you
not
up on
been
that.
horrified.
There's that bar that Ben Feldman has a show at too, which is pretty.
I hear they're all pretty douchey where he goes.
He does run
Friend
a
of the
very
show,
good
Ben
show,
Feldman.
but the bar itself is.
What bar?
it-
The
the
comic club.
Yeah, the comic's right up the street here, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
Oh.
used to be called the that place used to be called the Desert Moon, and all I can think of every time I see it is that Dennis DeYoung song, Desert Moon.
Wasn't that the name of a terrible Peter Coyote movie too? Or is that China Moon or something?
every Peter Coyote movie sucks. All right,
take that.
eat a dick, Coyote. So what I'll say is that I actually, the time that I've been here, like I noticed all these people coming in and out from the back, the restaurant
Yeah.
area, and they all seem like really sweet, like tourist people.
Right.
And then out front here, like everything's been fine. I mean, if you want to come here and watch a game or listen to someone like butcher like a Tom Petty song on stage, I bet this is the place to go.
And you know what? Like, so if during the apocalypse you find yourself here and you want to know which places to set fire to first, like, give this place a
is that the
couple
premise
hours.
of your show? Like where to go during the apocalypse?
Pretty much.
Zombie
Oh, okay.
apocalypse, sure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Got it.
I think all shows sort of have to be geared towards at least some of that these days to have some
enough.
crossover.
All right, Amin, do you have any plugs coming up?
Do you have any plugs coming up?
If you guys like want to hang out with me or anything, just like let me know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
You could, no, not you guys, the listeners.
I heard there's a great new open mic in town. At
right.
some place called Doc's
Mike,
Lab.
really? Where?
Oh, yeah.
You're
No,
like-
well, I was just going to plug
I don't
my
know
thing
of any.
too. Also, if you go
Oh,
to
I'm sorry, go ahead.
911 was an inside.job.org. That is
EDU?
Oh, I'm not going to go there. That is my site. You can also go to barackisamuslim.com, which is where my blog is. I'm 100% serious.
Andrew, do you have any plugs?
I have Barack is a secret Muslim.com.
You're like, oh, I had plugs, but I'm going to plug what he said.
I'm really not joking at all. I drunkenly bought both of those domains late at night.
That's great.
You're an early adopter, aren't you? I can't believe it wasn't already taken.
So if you want Jeff and Andrew at 911wasinsidejob.org, let me know.
Oh my God, we have to
I
get
totally
that.
want that.
Emily Heller has Cobra Pussy at 911wasinsidejob.org. She had it on her business card for years.
Do not fuck with me and me.
I'm serious. I can give you that email
I
address.
want Jeff 9/11 was an inside
Yes.
job.
100%. That's why I bought it.
All right.
Oh my God! So now everybody knows how to get in touch with me.
Good things are going to start happening now.
Finally, it's going to take off.
It was
All I needed
that was
was
the
a gimmick.
linchpin that I needed for success.
Exactly. Call your mom tonight. You're not going to believe it. Remember when I used to chit-chat with Dad about getting a 9/11 InsideJob.com email?
Hey, Mom, get ready to stop being disappointed because
I really wish people could contact me, but really still know about how I feel about 9/11.
Exactly. Like, I want to sign up for email mailing lists, but I also want them to know that our government lied to us.
But seriously, 9/11 was an inside job.
.com.
all right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's all I have to promote.
I mean,
Scam book
we
at
ended
9/11
on like
was an inside job and SF Jeff it.
we ended on a strong like a closer joke.
Yeah.
That was
Are,
good.
are we recording right now?
No,
we
it's-
still
it-
are.
Oh.
No, the recorder's been off for hours.
Just like that would have been a really great joke to close on. Let's stretch it out for another half hour.
And let's make that joke into a mini series.
Tell me what you were thinking when you came up with that joke.
I really should just like make 9/11 was an inside job an email service where people get to sign up for that email address.
Totally, yeah.
I never
You
thought
really
about it.
should,
Yeah. There'd be ads up on there.
Right.
I mean, if somebody
Ads
who,
for our podcast, for one.
if somebody who looks like me steals that idea like later tonight, then don't be surprised.
You don't own that domain name, only I do.
It's gonna be like the first murder for a domain name. Like he'll kill a mean for his cool
He was
9/11
stabbed,
was an
but
inside job
holding-
domain name.
He was stabbed in the back, but he was holding this paper that says "Give his domain name to Jeff."
How strange.
Way to go, Columbo. I mean, Columbo was like this character in like the 70s on television.
I will.
Is he a disco guy? 70s?
Yeah, like fish in his platform shoes. I will say that this bar has the closest name to like a Indian casino bar that any in San Francisco. Like this whole SilverClouds thing is just it's crazy.
Is it Great Spirit SilverClouds? All right, let's end this.
That's
Oh, I
stop
thought it was over.
All right, we're done.
Oh, God.
All right, so this is SFBarkast.
Just keep it rolling.
I'm Jeff Cleary
I'm Andrew Louder.
and Amin Belbari. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for pronouncing my name right.
I got it right.
Yes.
Okay. And
Thank you for having
Do you have
me.
anything you want to say to Barry Sobel before we sign off?
Or anybody else on AST.
Barry, I don't know you. I've never met you. I've heard a lot of stories about you from Jeff.
That's amazing that you've never met Barry Silver.
I've never met Barry Sobel.
It's like you're like gifted
Jeff
like in that
loves
way.
you
Like
deeply.
You're pure.
I know,
You're
yeah.
pure.
I was gonna
You've
say
never
he's
met
like,
Barry Sobel.
he's clean.
You know, if you make eye contact with him, he'll try to move in with you.
Well, I mean, we've had sex. We just never really met, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
No eye
that's-
contact after
Right.
during
You
sex.
just don't know him.
All right. This is SF Barkast. We'll see you next time.